All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're harvesting some of the radishes that are ready. And if you remember right, we had 3 rows of radishes. 1 row has been completely harvested. And I've picked mostly the second or middle row. And it's getting warm enough now that they're starting to bolt and want to go to seed. So I don't think I'm going to have much time left. So I'm just going to start really thinning them out, picking what's ready before they all start going to seed. And so that's what we're doing today. And as you can tell, there's a little bit of weeding to do in the garden as well. So once I get this done, that's something else I have on my list of things to do, is start going through and hand weeding and using a garden hoe in between all the rows and get the weeds out, because the rows are spaced pretty close together and it's too close for the rototiller to get in between. So that's something that has to be done pretty soon before the weeds start getting too tall. What I'm doing is just kind of feeling around with my finger, and I'll pick this one just as an example. Obviously that's too small. So what I do before I actually pull them up and find out that they're too small is I'll just kind of root around with my finger so I can see the crown or feel the crown of a radish. That one's a little bigger. Broke the root off, but that one will keep. So it looks like some, even though it's getting later in the season, it's not going to do me any good to pull them all up. So I'm going to leave some in here. Here's a nice one. That's what we're looking for. And I just put them in the bucket, and when it gets full, we'll go down and wash them. I watered these yesterday. I try to pick right after I water so that they pop right out of the ground. And it's been warm enough that the ground is already dried up quite a bit, where really I need to water it again to get them out. This makes me think of a story, a children's book story that's kind of funny. I always think about it when I'm doing stuff in the garden, especially root vegetables. But the book is called Tops and Bottoms, and it's about these 2 animals. I can't remember which animals. One might be a rabbit and the other one's a fox or something. And they have this agreement where they go in, plant a garden together, and the agreement is one of the animals gets the tops and the other animal gets the bottoms. Sounds like a fair agreement. So they plant a bunch of root vegetables, carrots and radishes. Well, the one who got the bottoms picked off all the radishes and all the carrots, and the other animal got all the tops. So he felt cheated. He said, "Hey, that's no good. I can't do anything with those." And so they said, "All right, well, now that part of the garden's done, we'll plant something else. And this time you can have the bottoms and I'll take the tops." So they plant some tomatoes and different things. And when it's time to harvest them, they harvest all the tomatoes and whatever else they planted. And the one who got the bottoms, now it's his turn to get the tops. So he gets all the tomatoes and he gets all of the lettuce and other things. And the other animal was stuck with the bottoms, the roots. And so obviously in that crop there's nothing to eat, and so he got the short end of the stick. And it's kind of a funny children's story. I always think about that whenever I'm in the garden. So here's something funny I thought I'd tell you. ground is really dry for being one day after watering. Man. Darn it. There's a nice one. So if you look over at the beach here, I'm not too happy with how that turned out. We kept having cold spells and then warmed up and hardly any rain, so I'd have to soak them. And I didn't get a good germination. And I have probably half as much that sprouted as I would have liked. And here's a volunteer tomato, but I'll end up pulling that out. It's been a hard year this year. Nothing's panning out. Some other things in the news that make me nervous is seeing the water levels at Lake Mead, Lake Powell, and Lake Mead. Pretty scary, even though we don't get our water from either of those. But we do irrigate out of a river that is a contributory or a tributary to Lake Mead. And you never know what could happen. The water level could get so low that they can't generate power anymore. It's getting that scary. I saw a news story today. They're at a critical level. No matter where you live in the United States, every region has its own set of challenges. If you're in the Midwest, they're having tornadoes right now and severe storms. If you're back east, you're getting all the heavy rains. Here in the West, we're in a severe drought. Things are pretty rough for everybody right now. And it affects us all. Food supplies and a lot of things. We're all connected in some way. I guess for some who don't understand, if you're wondering why I don't just take a shovel and loosen the soil, if I did that, then I have to dig up everything where I loosen the soil, because now I've disrupted the roots of even the ones that I wasn't wanting to pick right now. So usually it's a whole lot easier to pull these out of the ground, but the ground dried out pretty quick after watering yesterday. That's weird, a double bulb. These ones that the tops broke off from, I keep them separate and I put them in a separate bag. Everything else I bag up with the tops on them. Well, that's it. Let's go wash them off. Okay, so we've got them all picked, and now we're going to wash them off and get them ready for bagging. We're gonna put them all in the fruit stand, put some in a cooler, put the rest in the fridge, put them out for sale. So another day done. Thanks for watching.